All right, so if you can state your name to the camera and the spelling of it, your first and last.
Okay, you ready to start now?
Yes.
Okay, my name, Mario Manzini. Look at the camera.
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter,
Oh.
just for the spelling.
Mario Manzini. Okay.
All right, and can you spell that for me?
Spell it?
Yeah, for the spelling.
M-A-R-M-A-N-Z like zebra, I-N-I, or Z if you're in Canada. Yeah, Mario, M-A-R-I-O.
All right. All right. So tell me about yourself. Where were you born?
Okay, I was born in the Bronx, New
Okay.
York City.
All right.
And I saw a documentary on Houdini.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was on Halloween. I was only 4 years old or so.
Oh.
And it impressed me so much. They had all these old film clips of him from 1903, being handcuffed by police, jumping off a bridge, escaping underwater, hanging from a building by his feet, getting out of a straitjacket. And it just did something to me. I said, I want to do that when I get older.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and my father was watching him. He said, no, you're not going to do that. You're going to do what I tell you. And I didn't want to do what he said. I'll get into that later. But from then on, I was hooked. I wanted to be like Houdini. So I got a piece of rope, and I had everybody tie me up. You know, a piece of rope. My father, my mother, my neighbors, friends. Eventually, when I went to school, I just carried a piece of rope with me, and I have the students tie me up, everything. And I always got out.
Mm-hmm.
So my father made me go to Samuel Gompers. It's a high school in the Bronx. It was about 3 blocks from where we lived. And it was a vocational school, high school. He wanted me to become an electrician as a front for his business. I'll get into that later. But anyhow, while I was there, we used to practice wiring up a frame house. And I saw some chains and a lock up on the second floor, so I had some of the students chaining me up so I can get out. And somebody told my teacher, Mr. Scalia, he came running up, what are you doing to him? What are you doing to him? I said, no, it's okay. I want him to chain me up so I can escape. He said, why would you want to do that? I said, because when I graduate, I want to become an escape artist like Houdini. He says, you'll never make a living doing that. Stick to electricity. So 5 years later, I was Ringling Brothers Bar and Bailey Circus at Madison Square Garden, making $5,000 a week. And I came down and gave him free passes to come see me.
Oh my
So he said, wow, he made me eat my words.
Yeah.
And then when I was there at the lunchroom, they had a police officer there, and everybody wanted to see if I could get out of his handcuffs. So they handcuffed me and I got out, and everybody was cheering me. I said, wow, this is great.
Yeah.
My old school, you know.
Oh my gosh. Dang. Well, that's awesome. You
Yeah.
definitely showed them. And
So
you
anyhow,
definitely
when I was 17, I ran away from home. I actually got a job performing at Upitz Museum, and that's where Houdini started in 1893, you know, performing there. It was like a sideshow. It was in Times Square right over Broadway on 42nd Street. And I started working there and all that. And then I went on the road with them playing fairs and festivals. Then I came back, then I went down to Coney Island, which now it's forget it, but in those days it was still nice.
Yeah.
You know? Not like it was in the 1800s, but you know, and they had sideshows there, and also I was doing shows there. And then I said, then I was able to talk well, I did a few little theaters in Brooklyn. I was living in Brooklyn then, Brooklyn, New York, and then I was able to talk my way into the RKO Madison Theater up in Ridgewood, Queens, Brooklyn, right on the boundary line. And that was an old vaudeville theater that Houdini's brother performed at. You know, Hardin, he was an escape artist too, back in 1945. So they put me in, I started doing shows for RKO theaters. Then I played all the ones that Houdini played, you know, like 1920s, 1930s, or 19, well, he died in 1928, 1920s, you know, 1919. And they became movie theaters, but they still had the stages, and RKO still put stage shows on every once in a while.
Yeah, no.
So I started doing that all over Brooklyn, New York, Manhattan, New Jersey, parts of Connecticut. So I did that for a lot. Then I got with Ringling Brothers Circus, and I was with them for 6 years.
Oh, wow.
So and then from there I just kept doing shows everywhere.
So tell me about your time in there. What was it like traveling with them?
Oh, the circus, you mean?
Yes.
Well, I didn't travel with them. I just worked with them in New York.
Okay.
But I did shows like all over the country, Canada, Tokyo, Japan. We've been in Australia, the World's Fair, Brisbane, Australia. I've been in Tokyo, Japan. I did the World Festival of Daredevils.
Oh, wow.
I got videos on YouTube where I'm in a straitjacket and the rope's on fire, tied around my ankle, and they're throwing me up 1,000 feet in the air.
I watched that video.
You saw that?
Yeah, that
Did
was
you
so
see where it
impressive.
broke? And
Yeah.
I fell, but they caught me. Luckily, I was only this far off the ground. If I was higher, I would have been killed.
Oh, wow.
Now I got another one I just put up there when I fell and broke my leg in London, England. I don't know if you saw that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you got to search for it. You know, Mary Manzini falls 25 feet, blah blah blah.
Jeez.
And I almost got killed on that. I fell head. I had a board of spikes on fire on the ground,
Yeah.
and the rope I was hanging from was on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to get out, release my feet, and slide down another rope to the ground before
Yeah.
the rope burned in two. I didn't make it, and I fell head over heels. And if I would have went head into the spikes, I would have been killed. I was able to shift my body and land on my right foot, right off the board. So I broke all my bones in my foot and my leg. Anyhow, they rushed me to St. Mary's Hospital in London, and they were going to amputate my foot because the bones were. And there was a Japanese doctor there who said, "I think I could save it," and he did.
Oh, wow.
He put all kinds of screws and bolts and crazy glue, whatever. But it patched it up good. I walked really good. I don't even limp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So lucky.
Well, that's
Lucky he was on duty, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. But
If it was an Italian doctor, I wouldn't have made it.
But so tell me, what was your childhood like?
Bad, really bad. Yeah, I don't even know if I should talk about it. What do you think? Huh?
It's up to you.
Well, okay,
If you
then
feel
you could always,
comfortable.
well, my father was in the mafia. He was a gangster,
Mm-hmm.
and he wanted me to be a gangster. And he forced me to watch him kill guys, shoot them in the head when I was 6, 7 years old. He brought me to my uncle's house up in the Bronx, who was also with the mob, and they had a guy they killed, and they dismembered his body, and he forced me to watch all that. And I used to get nightmares. I mean, and then he called me names, you know, because I didn't want to do that. He said, "When you get older, you're going to do that." I said, "No, I want to be in show business." He said, "No, you're not. You're going to do what I tell you."
Mm-hmm.
And he kept trying to force me. And anyhow, well, on my birthday, let me tell him that. I was 18 years old, and he was cold. He never gave me any presents, no cards. When I graduated from school, he never came to see me. I mean, he was just, he used to force me to go with him to mob meetings, you know, with the gangsters and all that meeting. He was trying to get me into that. So anyhow, I was 18, he gave me a present, and I opened it up as a loaded gun. He wanted me to shoot somebody and kill him.
Oh, wow.
So I became a made member of the mafia, and I wouldn't do it. I gave it back, and he pushed it. I wouldn't do it. So he slapped me, and I lost it. And I used to box, so I beat him to a pulp.
Oh, wow.
And then I picked up the gun. I put it to his head. I was going to shoot him, but I couldn't do it. I threw it down, and I walked out, and I just ran away from home.
Mm.
Went back with the shows. But eventually he got me back, you know, but I still would never kill anybody. I wouldn't push drugs and all that.
Mm-hmm.
He just had me run some of his businesses, you know, which I hated, but I had to do it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody says, listen to your father and your mother, do what they tell you. Yeah. I said, if I did, I'd be either in jail or I'd wind up with a bullet in my head in the trunk
Yeah,
of a car
well,
somewhere.
There's an instance where you should not be listening to your father.
So, you know, I'm telling you, even all my age, I knew it was wrong, and I didn't want no part of it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and finally he died in 1978,
Mhm.
and that's when I just walked away and I said,
Yeah.
I don't want no part of this, just do my shows.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
then I
what?
went to Danbury, Connecticut, moved up there, and I got baptized, born again, and just lead a really good life, you know, and I'm against all that stuff he taught me.
Mm-hmm. But so tell me then, from that, where did your career begin?
Well, let me see. Well, doing the RKO theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got a manager, great manager. He kept all my money. He gave me $1. You know, Larry Crane, I can say that. Great. He was a genius. I mean, he booked me everywhere. They got me on big TV shows and big money. You know, we do like a college. We do a lot of colleges.
Mm-hmm.
We get like $3,000-4,000 a day. At that time, it was really good. You know, now they get more, but. And he'd keep all the money, give me $1 or $2. He said, I need the money to promote you, but he was using it for himself.
Mm-hmm.
So he ripped me off for years. But eventually I got another manager and he got me a lot of work and all that, you know. But we did shows. I've been doing shows always all my life, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we do libraries, we do schools, assemblies, fundraisers, fairs, festivals, what else, corporate.
Theaters, performing.
theater, performing arts centers.
All right. So
They actually pay the best. You know, we get like $6,000-7,000 for one show. Fairs, festivals, we do like a 5-6 day fair. You know, we get 1,000 a day, 6,000, 7,000 a week. You know, but a lot of times we'll do, you know, and then fundraisers. We'll work with them, you know, because we want to raise money for the charities and for the kids and all that. But we did it with battered women, and then we do abused children and all that. Optimist Club, Lions Club, American Legion. Yeah, he's begging me to do another one for him right now. And who else? Chasey's, you know, all charities. We like to raise money for that with a show, you know.
That's awesome. So walk me through what's a typical performance for you guys like now.
You mean, what does it consist of?
Yeah, like just
Okay,
what,
well,
yeah.
basically I'm an escape artist. And, you know, I do the water tank escape, you know, where they handcuff me, have a big metal can, a steel can, it's about the size of a barrel, but it's a giant milk can, filled to the brim with water. They handcuff me, stick me in, take a deep breath, go under, they put the lid on, lock it from the outside, and I got like 3 minutes holding my breath underwater to escape. And the locks are on the outside. So it's a mystery how I do it, but I do it. But I have my assistant stand by with axes. In case I can't make it, I signal them by banging on the inside. I give them a certain code, you know, it's got to be fast though, you know.
Yeah.
They're drowning, and then they chop the locks off. So that only happened twice.
All right.
And then I get out of straitjackets, handcuffs. We invite police officers to come up on stage, lock me in their own handcuffs. I get out. We get all volunteers from the audience. You know, they come up, tie me to a chair like this with 100 feet of rope around my neck, my chest, my legs. And I get out in less time than it takes to tie me. And I always get out without a tying a single knot. That's what I tried. And then what else? They nail me in a box, lock me in a mail bag. Then we do it at a morgue bag that they put bodies in, you know. They put me in, you know, I make sure nobody's ever been in there before. You know. It's got to be brand new. It says City Morgue on it. I hope nobody used it. Anyhow, they handcuff me, put me in, close it up, and then they wrap it all around with yellow tape. What's that belt? What?
Bungee.
Bungee?
Yeah, bungee cord.
Whatever, yeah. And they buckle it tight, and I get out of that. And whatever, you know, there's nothing I can't get out of. I've done it all. Now, also, we're putting a lot of magic into it to give it variety. So I do a lot of mentalism. You know, I read people's minds. We do stuff like that. And do a lot of magic, comedy magic and all that. And then illusions. I have an illusion show where we have a girl assistant. We put her in a big cage. And you can see it's completely empty. We cover it with a sheet. I shoot a blank gun. It is blank, right? I shoot a blank gun, pull the sheet away, and she's gone. We got an exotic dog in there. He's actually, he's part wolf, you know, wolf dog.
Yeah.
And boy, everybody loves that, you know. Then we do the levitation. This is my favorite. We do it as the Phantom of the Opera, like the show. Have the mask, the cape. We got a big backdrop, medieval dungeon backdrop. It looks like the catacombs, you know, of the theater. We got green lights, fog machine, the whole thing. We got music from the show, Phantom of the Opera. And we act it out, you know. I hypnotize her, put her on the couch. I go like that. She floats way up in the air. And take a hoop, pass her over, back and forth. And she comes back down. I wake her up. She gets up. And as I'm taking her bow, she pulls the mask off, and I have another mask underneath. That's really,
Yeah.
and she faints, you know, that's blackout.
Like Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah, but it goes over great, you know. That's my favorite illusion.
Oh.
But
Well,
basically that's it. But Vicky always opens for me with a violin. She plays a violin for classic rock and roll and Beatles and what else? Bluegrass. You know.
Bluegrass.
She does all of that. And
Oh,
then she
that's
works with me
awesome.
as my announcer and my assistant in the show. So we do it together.
So, what's it like working together for you guys?
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And see what's good about it, when we travel all over the country, you know, a lot of times you get days off, so you get a chance to see the sights.
Yeah.
And we've been to the Little Bighorn, you know, Custer's Last Stand, we've been to the Alamo, where else? Gettysburg, Salem, Massachusetts, the witch trials, and Lizzie Borden's house where she chopped up her parents.
Yeah.
We've been there. You know, you go in there, the whole wall is covered with pictures of the father and mother chopped up. And as you're walking out, they said, don't forget to eat next door. We have a steak restaurant there. Oh, yeah.
Thanks. But so I see you're also very decorated. I saw you won the Guinness World Record. If you can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. All right. It's getting out of a humane restraint straitjacket in 8.5 seconds,
Wow.
and nobody's ever come close to that. Now, I seen somebody on TV, on internet actually, for a Guinness record, and they said he broke my record. He got out in 1 minute and 25 seconds, and he had it was a trick straitjacket. I mean, they had an ambulance attendant come down from the mental hospital. It was in Burbank, California, Channel 8 studio for the Guinness Games, and he put me in a straitjacket, which was their straitjacket. This guy came out with a straitjacket already on because it was his, and right away looking at it, I knew it was a trick one with a strap. And sure enough, as he's going like that, the strap comes right out of the arm, which is impossible if it was real. And they said, oh, he's the new world champion. How can he be a world champion, you know? You should have done it under conditions I did it under.
Tell me what those conditions, what were they like?
Well, they brought their own straitjacket, and they put me in, a hospital attendant put me in, and it was all done right on the camera. Then they tied my feet, pulled me upside down, which she didn't do, and I got out in 8.5 seconds.
Wow, it's very impressive.
That was in the 1980 issue of the Guinness Book of World Records.
Wow.
And nobody ever broke that, so. So
That's
I
very
still have a Guinness
impressive.
World Champion escapologist.
Yeah. All right. So let me just look through my questions. So as you've gotten older, has anything changed with like the passion that you have for being an escapologist or anything like that? That like, what has changed like throughout the years?
Was changed in what way?
Just like the passion that you have towards it, or are you still just?
Oh yeah, I love doing it. I love doing shows, and you know that the kids really get a kick out of it too.
Yeah.
You know, everybody says, "Well, they're not going to understand a guy all chained up or straitjacket," but they do. And you know, we do a lot of assemblies, high school, but also elementary. Kids love it. Libraries, you know. Yeah, we just love making people happy, and we do a lot of comedy also. You know, and. You know, they laugh. You know, one thing where they got a piece of rope, they tie my hands behind my back really tight. Then I asked one of the volunteers to stand to my side, and I said, I want you to watch the clock on the wall, time you see how long it takes. And there's no clock there. They're looking where, and really I take my hand out and I point right past them. Right in front of your eyes, right there, and they don't notice it.
Yeah.
That goes on for like 3 or 4 minutes. Everybody's laughing, finally they catch on. But sometimes they don't catch on, I gotta shake them. I'm out, oh. Yeah.
So would that, so would you say that's your favorite part of it, just making people happy?
Yeah, I like to make them happy. And they forget their problems. You know, everybody got problems. When you see a show that you can really get into, you know, you forget your own problems, even for a little while. Then when you go home, the problems are still there, you know. But at least for a while, they're happy.
At least for a moment, they had something that could make them happy.
You know.
Just truly something that's amazing. But so what's an accomplishment that you're most proud of?
What?
An accomplishment or anything that you're most proud of throughout your career?
Well, being a Guinness World Champion. I mean, that means
a pretty
a
good
lot.
one.
Yeah, and
Evel Knievel.
what?
Evel Knievel.
Oh, yeah. See, that's why I brought her, because I forget. Yeah, I got to read your lips. So. I opened. Okay, let me get back up. 1978. It was August 22nd, 1978. I was performing up at Gaslight Village, which is an 1890 theme park. You know, it's like old vaudeville acts, and you know, it's the whole thing's like old-fashioned. They got a melodrama, an ice show, but they also got rides. So it was it's great. But anyhow, on my day off, I planned to jump off the Brooklyn Bridge in New York to get publicity. And I know Steve Brody did that in 1897 at 10 o'clock at night. I forgot the date though, but